Morning, Jerod.
Morning, Mike.
Just heard you on EEI. You were asked about the quarterback situation in recent weeks after a game. The next day when we talked to you, you've reiterated that Jacoby Brissett is the starting quarterback. Today, you didn't go there. And I know you said you haven't watched the film. Do you feel like there's potential for a change?
I've watched the film. I just haven't watched some of the other things. I watched the offensive and defensive film for sure. I try to get the special teams. What I would say is, I think I've been pretty consistent in my messaging is that every single week every single day we're all being evaluated, and it's no different now. That's kind of how I see it.
Thank you.
Just a reminder, turn on your cameras before asking your question if you can. Just it helps in so coach can see you as you ask the question. We'll go Mark Daniels, followed by Dakota Rain.
Hey, Jerod. Good morning. When you meet with your coaches today, do you anticipate talking about the potential of starting Drake May and making a change at quarterback?
When I meet with the coaches today, it's about, we're in a solution-driven business and we aren't playing good football. And so we have to look at every single unit and every single player and figure out how we use this roster to go out there and win games.
Dakota Randall, followed by Mike Reese.
Hey, Jerod. While understanding the struggles of the offense aren't on just one person, is making a change at offensive play caller during the season something you'd ever consider?
That's not under consideration.
Next question, Mike Reese.
Jerod, how would you evaluate Jacoby's performance yesterday?
It just wasn't good enough. I thought we played well enough defensively and on special teams to win the football game. And look, as the quarterback, and he understands this, he touches the ball on every single play, and we didn't win the game or score enough points to win the game. And I think he would echo that same sentiment, that it wasn't good enough.
We'll go Doug Hyde, followed by Chris Ryan. And we'll keep it with just one question, and then we'll come back to you. If you have follow-up questions, just raise your hand again. We'll try to get to everybody.
Hi, Jerod. On the Jabrill Peppers situation, have you heard anything from the NFL about potentially putting him on the commissioner's exempt list?
We informed the NFL, and we're still gathering information. I know the team put out a statement earlier today, so I'm not sure how the league and how we are going to handle that going forward, but we should find out some more information over the next few days.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chris Ryan, followed by Sophie Weller.
Morning, Jerod. Hope all is well with you. On the quarterback situation, seeing what Bo Nix is doing, what Williams and obviously Jaden Daniels is doing, does that in any way make you inclined to kind of see what Drake can do, and particularly that they struggled a little bit early on and then have transitioned into being effective in the league?
I watched those guys on film. I would say each situation is unique, and so is our situation. And I think you hit it on the head. Those guys, it was a little bumpy at first, Jaden Daniels aside, but those guys are playing at a high level. And so it's natural for fans and for the media to say, well, we have, a good quarterback waiting in the wings as well. But at the same time, our mentality is, look, how do we develop him? How do we get the guys on the field around him to develop and move forward from there?
Thank you.
Thanks, Rich.
Sophie Weller, followed by Duke Castiglione.
Hi, Jerod. I was just curious, having Jabrill and Kyle out, how do you feel like your safety group with Dell, Jalen, and Marte stepped up, given that they were out, kind of those two major forces?
It was very encouraging, and those guys grew up yesterday, so like the way they played, and hopefully here going forward they continue to develop at that pace. There was injury and what Pep's going through right now. We're going to need guys to step up, and I thought they did that yesterday. It wasn't perfect, but I thought they played hard. I thought they did what we asked them to do, and it's something to build off of.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, so.
Duke Castiglione, followed by Andrew Callahan.
Jerod, what did you guys find out about Jabrill's situation? And was the injury report last week, the fact that he was on it, would he have played if it weren't for this situation?
Yeah, I don't want to speculate or do anything like that. He was dealing with an injury throughout the week, and so that's why he was on the injury report. And like I said earlier, look, the team put out a statement about it, and we're still gathering information.
What did you guys find out about it?
He called me the morning of.
Next question, Andrew Callahan, followed by Phil Perry.
Hey, good morning, Jerod. I know you're gathering information. That information, I'm sure, will dictate your ultimate decision. But just based on what you know now, would Jabrill be welcome in the building today and tomorrow?
Based on he's not in the building today. He has his appearance and things like that. But as we gather information, he can definitely be in the building. Like we don't know enough to say he shouldn't be in the building.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Phil Perry, followed by Mike Reese.
Jerod, is Jabrill's situation something you would address with the team, or you have addressed with the team already? And what would your
message? Up in flames. One man who lives there had to be rushed to the hospital with burns. Now the damage from this fire is so extensive, he is now forced to.
I'm going to try again.
Sorry, I just muted all, so we're just a second to reset there.
Oh yeah, can you ask that again?
Go ahead, Phil.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Is Jabrill's situation something you will address with the team, or you have addressed with the team already? And what would your message be to them on that front?
Yeah, I've already addressed it with the team. That message is really for the team. And what I will say is, all through training camp, all through, the season, we talk about, situations that happen around the league so we can learn from other people. This was, as we gather information, I think the players need to know about it, and so we can learn from whatever happened.
Mike Reese, followed by Doug Kai.
I just had a couple situational football questions. At the end of the second quarter, were you happy with, or I don't want to say were you happy, but was that like the same thing that we saw against the Seahawks in terms of the two throws, and what were your thoughts on that? And then I'd love to ask you about the last play too.
Yeah, those were it was like a carbon copy of that game. What I would say is, our execution throughout the season at the end of the half and end of the game, they just have to be better. And that's exactly what you saw at the end of the game where we ran out of time. Once again, it wasn't the call. It was just that we didn't execute the play call.
And on that last play, any thought on kicking a field goal there? You'd still be down 2. You'd have to onside kick. I mean, and what was because it seemed like you either got to throw sideline, end zone, or field goal, right?
That's right. That definitely was under consideration. I would say with that, our defense, I mean, they were pretty gassed at the end of the game, and we made the decision to go for it.
And the last one, Jerod, sorry, on the delay of games on the punts, were those both intentional? One to give you.
Yeah, so one was intentional and one was not intentional. So,
Doug Kai, followed by Nick O'Malley.
Hey, Jerod, do you feel like the offensive line held up well enough to give a proper assessment of Jacoby in the passing game?
I actually think they did a pretty good job. Obviously there was pressure throughout the day, but there were also some pockets that seemed pretty clean. And you have to marry it all up as you evaluate the quarterback spot. It's like the offensive line on a per play basis. But I did think they showed some fight yesterday.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Nick O'Malley, followed by Bob Sosi.
Hi, Jerod. Sorry, my camera's not working. Just to be clear on the Jabrill situation, the team was aware of the incident with Jabrill on Saturday morning before the decision that he was downgraded to out?
We knew about the situation the morning of.
And would you say
But once again, he was on the injury report throughout the week, so because he was dealing with an injury.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bob Sosi, followed by Chris Ryan.
All right, thanks, Dave. Good morning, Jerod.
Good morning, Bob.
Hey, Jerod, I just want to ask you about Kendrick's return at wide receiver in kind of the rotation you used yesterday. And Mike's moved back inside to guard. Do you feel like you're creating the problems yesterday notwithstanding, you're creating a better framework if and when the time comes for a change at quarterback? Do you want continuity on the offensive line? Do you want the rotation set at wide receiver? In other words, before you make that decision, if you feel you have to make that decision?
That's a fair assessment, Bob. I think you're right. I mean, we need to get some consistency across the board for whoever's at quarterback.
Okay. Thanks, Jerod.
Thank you.
We'll make this the last question. Chris Ryan.
Hey, Jerod, just on Jabrill for a second, how would you kind of clarify his status with the team? Are you taking an approach of, presumption of innocence and therefore whatever the charges are, he's presumed innocent? How would you kind of evaluate his status?
I think I would say, kind of not to be repetitive, but look, we put the statement out there and we're still trying to learn, get more information, and then we'll just go from there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jerod. Thanks, everyone.